Britain. All around the world, it is known as a place of diversity, peace and prosperity. Our history is long and has had great impact on our culture. In the last 20 years alone, the British people have overcome many things. There has been wealth and poverty, joy and hardship. In this documentary, we will explore what the youth think of British culture and history. Join us now as we discover modern Britain.
Do you think Mrs. Parker Bowles was a factor in the breakdown of your marriage?
Well, there were three of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
Wales has in fact been killed.
She was the people's princess.
In Paris, just a few hours ago, there had
And that's
been...
how she will stay, how she will remain in our hearts and in our memories forever.
Do you know who Princess Diana is?
Yes.
What do you think of her?
I think she had a good impact on Britain.
Do you think her death brought people together?
No, not really, no. Well, mainly because she was part of the royal family and that really split them up. And I mean, it didn't really split them up, but like there was a lot of hostility from the British people and it just kind of made everything unsettled and uncivil.
She was quite open about things that the royal family didn't necessarily agree with. I think you can still see it today, so yeah.
Do you think her death brought people together?
I think it kind of divided people. There's just some people that question the legitimacy of what the common story of her death is.
It was a document that was signed by Ireland and Britain to stop the fighting. I don't know the specifics, but it brought the British and the Irish people together and there was no longer civil unrest.
Although Blair brought peace during the early days of his career as Prime Minister, he would eventually be remembered as the man who took Britain into what many believe was a needless war.
I know there's a lot of controversy about it, whether or not it was valid or invalid, and the politics behind it, whether or not it was moral or even necessary.
I know that a lot of soldiers are deployed from all around the world to go there to stop like terrorists or to act as counter-terrorism forces, I guess, to try lower the numbers of terrorists. People need to feel safe. And if you don't feel safe where you stay, then I feel like your government is not doing enough. And I feel like by them going there, they're obviously doing enough to keep us safe. They're still human at the end of the day. Every life is equal. But if they are a threat to where you stay, then obviously you're the priority.
Welcome to a unique viewpoint.
Some people believe that the royal family is just there to take people's taxes and people's money, and some people believe that they are like the number one people who they look up to.
I have no real opinion on them. I don't think they've done anything outwardly wrong.
The royal family, they do stuff. I don't know exactly what they do, but like maybe the Queen's inauguration or whatever it's called, like I would never go out of my way to see it, but I'd hear people talking about it when it comes to it. Me, myself, I'm not really interested by the royal family or about that.
Bolt going very near, comes Usain Bolt! Usain Bolt storming through, he takes it again.
They did a lot of things that other Olympic events hadn't done. You could tell that people were actually enjoying themselves because they put together a lot of different cultures and representations of those. But I mean, I don't remember exactly what they did, but I know like they did do some performances and stuff like that, and it was really good.
Obviously it was big for the country, it was quite unifying, I think. We got a lot of people in good spirit. I enjoyed it, yeah.
I think the Olympics, it does take like a lot of tourists and a lot of people coming into the country to watch the Olympics and to come to watch like their own country to participate.
What do you think of Brexit?
Now, in terms of looking at it economically, I guess it makes sense. But before, I didn't like it. Because obviously I'm a person of a different culture, and like it could possibly have an effect on me. And when it started, there was a big fear of like getting deported or getting sent back to your own country. And obviously the way that it left my country was just a bit mad, you know? Like,
I think there are good sides to it and there will be positive impacts, but I don't say as a whole it was probably the right decision to make.
I think government-wise, I think realistically, I think they're trying to do it for money. But in terms of like globally, I think it doesn't really make a difference.
When Britain voted to leave the EU, then Prime Minister David Cameron was stunned. Expecting the British people to vote Remain, Cameron resigned after realising he was out of touch with the British people.
We reduce the number of people needing hospital treatment at any one time, so we can protect the NHS's ability to cope and save more lives. And that's why we've been asking people to stay at home during this pandemic. And though huge numbers are complying, and I thank you all, the time has now come for us all to do more. From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
It's affected me, I mean, mentally, obviously. I just haven't been feeling how I felt before because of the lockdowns. My mum being a, frontline worker, is just like, what if she catches COVID, you know?
Everyone I know has kind of just been playing it safe, no one's done anything stupid. I probably wouldn't have met my girlfriend if it wasn't for lockdown and stuff like that, so I suppose that's quite fortunate. And it made me appreciate like my friends a lot more and the times you have with your friends and your family and stuff, so yeah, I'd say so.
And then not being able to see family and friends for such a long time is difficult. I started calling my sister more, my aunties, my cousins. I just started talking to everyone I could to see how they were doing, catching up, yeah.
Well, COVID-19 has affected me in so many different ways, both physically and mentally. But I think overall, I think it was completely and utterly stupid idea. Like the fact to go into a lockdown with the amount of people's businesses shutting down, and like so many people in hospital, the NHS is just overcrowded. And I think overall, I just don't think the government did it right.
So what's next for Britain? With the advent of Brexit and COVID, the future of the British people looks bleak. But there's a silver lining to every cloud, and if there's one thing that can be guaranteed, it's that the British people and their culture will survive.